Welcome back to another spine-chilling episode of Crime Recall, where we delve into the darkest corners of human nature and uncover the shocking stories behind the world's most notorious criminals. Before we begin, please be advised that this video contains graphic content that may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Today, we are diving into the twisted and fascinating tale of Clara Phillips, also known as the Hammer Murderess, a woman whose jealousy and rage led her down a path of deception, betrayal, and murder. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our true crime stories. Now, let's dive into the sinister world of Clara Phillips.
Welcome. This is Crime Recall.
It was a sweltering summer day in Los Angeles on July 12, 1922, when a gruesome murder shocked the nation. Before we unravel the chilling details of that fateful day, let's take a step back and explore the life of Clara Phillips before she became the Hammer Murderess. Clara Phillips was born Clara Gertrude Gibbs on December 7th, 1894, in Kentucky. Not much is known about her early life, but what we do know is that she had a difficult upbringing. Clara's family was poor, and she was one of the 10 children. She left home at the age of 15 and began working in a shirtwaist factory in Louisville, Kentucky, to make ends meet. Clara was known for her captivating beauty and vivacious personality, which often drew men to her. In 1912, at the age of 18, she married a man named Frank Bachman. However, their marriage didn't last long, and they eventually divorced. Clara then moved to the bustling city of Los Angeles, California, to start anew. In 1919, Clara met Alberta Phillips, a charming and successful oil executive. They fell in love and got married. However, their seemingly perfect marriage was marred by infidelity and mistrust. Clara was convinced that her husband was having an affair, and her suspicions would soon spiral out of control. As the couple's relationship deteriorated, Clara's jealousy intensified. She became convinced that her husband was having an affair with a young widow named Alberta Meadows. Alberta was a beautiful and successful real estate agent who was often seen in the company of wealthy men, including Alberta Phillips. Clara was consumed with rage and jealousy, and she concocted a plan to confront Alberta. Her twisted plot would lead to a horrifying act of violence that would send shockwaves through the city of Los Angeles and forever change the lives of everyone involved. On the morning of July 12, 1922, Clara enlisted the help of a close friend named Peggy Caffey. Together, they went shopping for weapons. Clara ultimately decided on a claw hammer, convinced it was the perfect weapon to carry out her vengeful plan. Clara and Peggy then tracked down Alberta Meadows, who was showing a property to a potential client. Clara and Peggy waited for Alberta to finish her appointment before confronting her. When Alberta was alone, Clara approached her under the guise of wanting to discuss a business opportunity. Unsuspecting, Alberta agreed to accompany Clara and Peggy to a nearby cafe. However, Clara had no intention of taking Alberta to a cafe. Instead, she directed Peggy to drive to an isolated area on the outskirts of Los Angeles. Upon reaching the destination, Clara asked Alberta to step out of the car for a private conversation. As they walked away from the vehicle, Clara's rage boiled over. In a violent frenzy, Clara viciously attacked Alberta with a claw hammer, repeatedly striking her in the head and face. Peggy, terrified by the gruesome scene unfolding before her, remained in the car, unable to intervene. After the brutal attack, Clara returned to the car, her clothes covered in blood, and ordered Peggy to drive away. Clara and Peggy abandoned Alberta's lifeless body in a ditch on the side of the road. The following day, Alberta's body was discovered by a local farmer. The brutality of the crime scene was shocking even to seasoned investigators, and the manhunt for Alberta's killers began. Clara's murderous rage had not gone unnoticed by those around her. In the days following the discovery of Alberta's body, an anonymous tipster led police to Clara, who was quickly arrested and charged with the murder of Alberta Meadows. Clara's trial was a media sensation. The public was captivated by the story of the jealous wife who had brutally murdered her husband's alleged mistress. The prosecution's star witness was none other than Peggy Caffey, who provided a chilling account of the events leading up to Alberta's murder and the gruesome attack itself. On October 7th, 1922, after just an hour and 20 minutes of deliberation, the jury found Clara Phillips guilty of first-degree murder. She was sentenced to life in prison. Clara's story doesn't end there, though. In 1923, just a year after her conviction, Clara managed to escape from San Quentin State Prison with the help of a fellow inmate. The daring escape made headlines across the nation, and a massive manhunt ensued. For several months, Clara managed to evade capture, eventually making her way to Honduras. However, her time on the run was short-lived. In April 1924, Clara was apprehended by authorities in Honduras and extradited back to the United States to face justice once again. Clara returned to San Quentin State Prison to serve out the remainder of her life sentence. Remarkably, Clara's time in prison would lead to a dramatic transformation. She became a model prisoner and began to dedicate her life to helping others. She worked as a nurse in the prison hospital and was even instrumental in the establishment of a prison library. In 1935, after serving 12 years of her life sentence, Clara was granted parole due to her good behavior and contributions to the prison community. Upon her release, Clara changed her name and attempted to lead a quiet life, far from the sensational headlines that had once defined her. The exact details of Clara's life after prison remains a mystery. Some reports suggest that she remarried and settled down in California, while others claim she relocated to the East Coast to start anew. Regardless of where she ultimately ended up, Clara Phillips seemed to have left her violent past behind, embracing a more peaceful existence. The shocking story of Clara Phillips, the Hammer Murderess, left an indelible mark on the annals of true crime history. Her case highlighted the dark and destructive power of jealousy and the lengths one woman was willing to go in the name of revenge. Clara's trial and subsequent escape captivated the nation and provided a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked rage. The sensationalized coverage of her case also served as an early example of the media's fascination with true crime stories, a fascination that continues to this day. While Clara's actions were undeniably horrific, her life after prison serves as a reminder that people can change even after committing the most heinous of crimes. The story of Clara Phillips, the Hammer Murderess, is one of tragedy, redemption, and the complexities of human nature. Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey into the life of Clara Phillips. If you found this story fascinating, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment with your thoughts on the case. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our true crime stories. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll delve into another shocking true crime tale. Until then, stay curious, stay vigilant, and never forget the stories of those who came before us.